Manuel, this Shiba Inu just keeps on cooking because just in the last 24 hours, it dropped an absolute bombshell announcement on its X account. And that involves getting listed on not just one tier 1 exchange, but they're actually going to be listed on 2 tier 1 exchanges. So in this video, we are going to be talking about what those 2 tier 1 exchanges could possibly be. And more importantly, I'll be sharing with you a real life example of another Shiba Inu DOWGE meme coin just last year that is undergoing the same process here with a similar market cap to Manuel, that when it got listed on one of these tier 1 exchanges, it has absolutely sent it flying here. So if that's an indication of how the possible impact of these tier 1 listings could be on the MANYU price action, then buckle up. Let's get into this video because this could definitely make your bags explode. But once again, nothing in this video is financial advice, so always make sure to do your own research. And once again, crypto is risky, so as much as we'd like to see everything go up to the moon, it could actually go down to zero as well. So always make sure to invest responsibly. And once again, I am not a financial advisor. So everything that I talk about here, I'm just simply sharing my thoughts and opinions on these crypto projects. And also on my channel, I talk about crypto gems that have 10x to 100x potential, all the way up to 1000x potential or more. So if those are the types of crypto projects that you like to get involved in, then you got to make sure to not only subscribe to this channel, turn on that notification bell, and also give this video a big thumbs up. So here is the bombshell announcement coming from Manuel just 1 hour ago. And here we are on its X page, and we could see right here that yes, they did cross over 16,000 holders, which is super bullish, but that compares nothing to this announcement right here. So as I mentioned in the chat prior, the listing date for our tier 1 SEX is now confirmed, but that isn't the only tier 1 SEX which will be rolling out. So here they're indicating that it's not just one tier 1 central exchange that they have been listed on, but in fact 2. So for those who place trust in us, I will assure you, you will all reap the rewards of it. And I have always reassured you in the past, and this is absolutely huge news, because getting on a tier 1 exchanges is one of the hardest things that a crypto project could get on. And once again, I think a large part of that has to do with its partnership on his website with Shiba Inu, which we've been talking about over and over again, because when you have these types of projects to these heavy hitters in the industry, they are able to put you in positions that where it allows you to capitalize on these connections and get you into places a lot sooner than if you decided to go solo here. And that's the way that it is in business, in the workplace. A lot of the relationships matter, a lot of the connections matter, and because of that, it looks like Manuel is doing a fantastic job in terms of leveraging their connections. And I would not be surprised if a lot of that has to do with maybe Shiba Inu giving them a warm introduction to the Binance team or the Coinbase team. So once again, I just alluded to those 2 tier 1 SEXs there. So in my opinion, that's what I think those 2 tier 1 SEXs will be. And a large part of that is because if you remember a few days ago, and this is a post on July 6th, so just about a week and a half ago, we had talked about how Manuel was listed on number 1, the Coinbase wallet, and number 2, the Binance wallet. And even though it's no guarantee, I talked about how that could be the first step towards getting that major listing on those tier 1 exchanges. Of course, we're going to have to wait and find out when they did make an official post, what those tier 1 exchanges that Manuel will be listed on. But I would not be surprised if it involved one or both of Coinbase or Binance. So why don't you let me know in the comments below, do you think it's Binance or Coinbase, or do you think it's another tier one, such as, let's say, crypto.com, Kraken, for example? You have Uphold as well, Robinhood. It could be any one of those as well. So let me know in the comments which, tier one exchanges MANYU will be listed on. And in terms of how this could absolutely make your bags explode, if you remember Nero here. So Nero is the sister to Doge. And last year in September, Binance listed Nero, and it listed Nero at a very similar market cap to what MANYU is sitting right now. So MANYU is sitting at about a $25 million market cap, and when Nero got listed, it was sitting at a very similar type of market cap right here. We're going to see by this article that it rocketed over 700% with a Binance spot listing. So that was a immediate 7x. In fact, if you go to their deck screener and have a look at the chart, it's actually a lot more than that. So when this article came out, this is September 17th. So actually the announcement when Nero got listed on Binance was the day before that, on September 16th of 2024. So you can see this is what happened to the price action of Nero. So you can see this massive God candle right here. So before that Binance listing, Nero was sitting at about a $20 million market cap. So once again, very similar to what MANYU is sitting at today. And it went within that 24 hours of the Binance listing, it went from a $20 million market cap all the way up to a $400 million market cap. So within one day, it did a 20x. And then you could see its trajectory from there on was just upwards and to the right, and eventually reaching its all-time high of over $1.2 billion. So imagine if you got in during this time right here, still very, very early, very similar to how MANYU is in the, sub $25 million mark. And then you get a Binance or a Coinbase listing or one of those massive tier one listings, and it sends it absolutely flying upwards and to the right here. So if we go and we look at the MANYU price action, we could see that MANYU is sitting at a $23 million market cap. And you could kind of see that in my last video here, it ran all the way up to about $45 million. And I drew these two circles before because it got rejected at these 2 points. And I mentioned that, there's a possibility that it could actually, have a pullback. And this is normal because a lot of people are just taking profits at this point here. And we'll probably see some consolidation. But, with the Binance or Coinbase or one of those tier one listings that could really change the trajectory of how MANYU moves in the very, very near future. In fact, I would not be surprised that it does some really crazy positive price action with that tier one listing, and especially if it's a Binance or Coinbase listing. We saw what it did to Nero, boosting it 20 times or 20x within a 24-hour period. So let's wait and see what those tier one exchanges are. And once again, in the comments below, let me know what you think those tier one exchanges are that MANYU is going to get listed on there. And as always, if you like getting these fast, timely updates on MANYU and all these other crypto gems that have, a 10x all the way up to 1000x potential more, then make sure to subscribe to this channel, turn on that notification bell, and also like this video as well. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.